listening to Reignite, a podcast about new friends and old. I'm Frankie.
And I'm Matt, aka Stormageddon.
We have finally moved on to Awakening. Whether you're importing a surviving hero of Ferelden or starting fresh with a new warden, we enter the scene as the Warden Commander of Amaranthine, holdings granted to the Wardens as a result of their role in ending the Blight in Denerim. As always, the first day of work goes to hell as we discover a sneak attack launched on the keep by Darkspawn. They're organized, they're determined, and one of them can talk. With the help of Myri, we fight our way through the village to the keep, where we rescue civilians, recruit a new mage, and a familiar face. Then we face off with the mysterious talking Darkspawn. Success leads to the new Grave Wardens, but unfortunately, not everyone makes it through the joining.
So before we get into this episode, we're glad to be back. Thanks for your patience during our break.
Thank you.
We should be on track throughout the rest of the year and through the rest of Awakening, because there's a lot of it. But I do want to mention just beforehand, although we did talk about it on the Discord, that since the last time we recorded, BioWare did release a teaser for the teaser of Dreadwolf. And I was very frustrated on Discord, and I just want to relay my frustration here that we are getting a date for the trailer sometime next summer, I think, or whatever it was, maybe next April, I don't remember. And I'm just annoyed. Like, yes, I get that you want to make sure people know the game is still coming. I know that it's been taking a long time, but like, I don't like the teasers they've been releasing of just like showing the map and having Varric talking. Like, it's cool, but it's nothing. Like, I like the lore of these games. I like the Dragon Age franchise, but I want to see gameplay. I want to see combat. I want to see conversations. Like, I want to know what this game looks like, right? As far as I know, it's still in Frostbite, so it's going to probably look better, but similar to Inquisition, but it's still unclear. Like, we don't know anything other than obviously Dreadwolf has to do with Solus, but like, that's it. That's all we know, and it's frustrating.
I understand your frustration, and I agree with all of your points. I definitely do. I am not as deeply frustrated as you, I think, because I try to maintain this, like, disassociation with the news when it comes to this, where I'm just like, oh, cool. Like, I refuse to I just refuse to let it impact me in a negative way.
Right.
Just because I have enough going on in my life. I don't need to get worked up. Which is not to criticize you for having your opinions and feelings. You're entirely valid. I just want to reinforce that. I'm just expressing how I am taking it. I am glad that there's been some sharing of what we're going to encounter. Like, I'm really excited that we're going to be dealing with the crows again.
Yeah.
Because I love that stuff. That's very interesting to me in terms of lore. So from a storytelling perspective, I think that's exciting. But I definitely am on board with like, oh, yay, this tells me very little.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with N7 Day every year. Like, I appreciate...
It just says, get excited.
Yeah. Like, I appreciate that N7 Day this year, like, they had that little, like, ARG. Like, those things are fun for those who want to do them. But we got a short clip of a mystery person in a helmet and a cool coat. And
I want the jacket so bad.
And Liara. And, like... we knew that already. Liara was shown in the very first teaser for Mass Effect Next. So, like, I'm just exhausted by both of this. And also, it's frustrating because BioWare has laid off a ton of folks. A lot of the leadership has left. As far as I know, there are no original... there may be a few, but, like, there's not a ton of the writing team left. Not a lot of folks left from, like, the original games. And it just is worrisome. Like, and every time we get a trailer for a trailer, it's like... or these N7 Day teasers, it's like... are these games really coming? I assume they're working on them, but it doesn't instill me with a lot of confidence. I've kind of crossed over to the more jaded side of this. Like, I want to be excited for these franchises. They're some of my favorite games in the world, but it's just hard first of all, it's hard when we're living in a year where it was the best year for game players and the worst year for game developers, as there were over 600 plus layoffs, probably more at this point, as Embracer Group continues to... it's so frustrating. And so I love BioWare. I really want them to have a renaissance and do really well, but they have struggled for so long. And, Anthem was such a huge flop. They got some juice back with the Legendary Edition, which I think they did a great job on. I wish they had done more, but it was still great for what it was. So we'll see. Like, I don't know. Also, I would love a remaster of the first 2 Dragon Age games because they need it. But that's a whole other thing.
I have a new theory.
Yeah.
By the way, for the next Mass Effect. Just thought of it in this moment, so I'm going to share it with you here and now. My theory is that the mysterious figure in the cool-ass coat is Liara's kid, who took the Shepard stories way too seriously.
Could be.
This is my theory.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not saying that they're Shepard's kid. I'm saying that they're just Liara's kid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally possible. I'm curious how it'll connect to Andromeda, since they do keep hinting at the Andromeda Galaxy. It would be cool if there were, like, folks.
Oh, I really hope they merge it.
Yeah. I mean, they have to. If this game ignores Andromeda, it's just a waste. It's just a waste.
I really want it to pick up, like, 10, 20 years after Ryder's, like, story completed that we saw. Like, let Ryder just, like, live their life and be happy. Like, let them gain some experience in the world. We met them when they were 20 years old. Let them just, like, you know, fuck around and find out on their own, and we will re-enter the world, find them as, like, a full adult, and, like, we'll see, you know? Like, I want to leave them alone for a while. And then, you know, we'll re-enter the world. And I really hope that the whole Pathfinder initiative just doesn't fall to the wayside, because I think it's really cool and I think it's really interesting. There's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. I mean, I what I really want is to go the extreme and, like, be hundreds of years later, like, everything's changed. We don't have to worry about the connections to the previous games. Like, I know that...
I don't think that it can be more than 700 years later. Right.
Well, right, because Liara's age. Like, she lives into the thousands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, like, 200 years later or something. I don't know. I don't remember how old she was.
Andromeda takes place technically 600 years after the events of Mass Effect 3.
Right, because that's how long it takes them to get there. And if they were to come back to the Milky Way, it would take another 600 years. Although, in theory, they maybe could find technology out there that could speed that up. They could do a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing.
So the reason why they were able to even see Andromeda is through Geth technology.
Right.
And there has been hints about Geth technology or something relating to the Geth in the teasers we've seen so far.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility that there's a faster way to Andromeda. But I just don't think that we're looking at anything more than 700 years after the events of Mass Effect 3.
Yeah. I will see. I mean, I don't want them to completely ignore our choices from the previous games. They were too important. But,
I completely agree.
But I also can see how they wouldn't be able to integrate every small choice. But, like, I think the final choice of Mass Effect 3 should impact this new game. It shouldn't be that hard to just make you pick at the start of the game one of those 3 choices to impact the new game. But especially if it's, like, 600 years later, the smaller choices won't matter as much, as most of those characters won't be alive. So, like, just the major choice of one of those 3 choices should be something I don't know. We'll see.
We will.
Anyway,
we got way off topic.
Yeah,
we're sorry, guys.
In the weeds. We haven't talked about this stuff in a while, and so anyway, always curious to hear your theories on the Discord or via email. You can write to us or on Twitter. Let us know what you think of the teaser for the teaser, your theories about Mass Effect and the New Dragon Age. We always love to hear those. And maybe we'll do a mailbag episode at some point if we get enough of them and share other people's theories.
I want theories. Give them to me. I want fanfics. Give those to me, too.
If
you're out there and you're like, here's my fanfic about what should happen, I want it.
Yeah, that's fair. You always want fanfic.
I do.
All right, should we get into actually what happens in this DLC Awakening?
Yeah, let's do the thing. Everything is very spooky when we get started. We have a new voice introducing the tale. I don't recognize this guy's voice at all. I think I know who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I do not remember. It has been so long.
Same. Yeah, I'm not sure either. But yeah, we arrive to the village in front of the keep, and screaming people are running from the town.
My note is, uh-oh, fire.
Yeah. Apparently, Darkspawn are attacking, and they're organized. And the confusion between our wardens and our new companion, who is joining us, Mari, right, is her name?
Mari.
Yeah. She is completely befuddled that the Darkspawn are organized because they're supposed to have dispersed after we killed the archdemon.
I like her immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also immediately worried because I was like, oh, I don't remember you.
But yeah, same.
I don't remember you. That doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't.
Like, oh no.
I mean,
I like you so much, but
yeah.
She's a warrior. She was a knight in the king's service. She hasn't taken her joining yet. And we are greeted with someone running from the keep with Darkspawn right behind him. This guy looks like he has been locked in a hole for 2 weeks with absolutely nothing to eat. He looks so haggard, and I'm just like, what happened to you before this?
Yeah.
Because
What's
this
the
cannot
story?
be just because of Darkspawn.
I mean, it could be, but it seems unlikely.
Very unlikely. But yeah, so once we fend off those Darkspawn, it is finding our way through the village and helping civilians with their Darkspawn woes.
Yeah, we move our way through the village, helping other warriors, wardens, folks who are trying to fend off the Darkspawn, rescuing people. It's pretty straightforward combat stuff, kind of getting you reacquainted with combat here. Oh, something interesting we didn't mention at the top. So a concern I had that was justified, you could not import your character to this from the other DLCs. You could only import directly from the main game. And so what my guess is that the order of events is meant to be Awakening and then the other DLC to build the character. Be that as it may, me and Frankie lost a few levels, but we gained them pretty quickly here and get back the skills we lost. But it was just very interesting to me that with all the other DLCs, you could choose the other DLCs, the main game, whichever. With this one, you could only choose the main game. But yeah, so we fight our way through all the way to the keep. It's pretty standard stuff, pretty standard Darkspawn stuff. Nothing really super exciting here that I remember.
Yeah. Did you collect the medical supplies?
I did, yes.
Okay, cool.
It was literally...
I did that too. Didn't even realize that was a mission. I was just
neither.
following the waypoint, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, a soldier asked for medical supplies. You literally go to the other side of the courtyard, kill a bunch of Darkspawn, get their medical supplies, and walk back.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that he had asked for them. He was like, we need them. And I was like, okay.
Okay. I'll do
Sure.
it. Sure.
Like, I need to find out what's happening. Are we just saying the things that we need?
Yeah. I feel like I could be wrong because it's been a while since I played this and I rushed through it the last time I played it. But I feel like the side quests were not great in this. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I feel like they weren't particularly memorable compared to like the main stuff that we do.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot that I remember from this, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mari is having like a moment when we head into the keep. She is concerned that the wardens didn't sense the Darkspawn, which, fair.
Yeah.
But it seems that there just weren't a lot of wardens here to begin with, and they just snuck up on everyone.
Yeah.
Which is freaky. And she is like, she's not quite spiraling, but she is just definitely having a moment where she needs to rally.
Yeah.
How did you treat her here?
With compassion.
Did you tell her to stay behind?
No, I kind of just told her that it'll be okay. Whatever the option was, it will be okay. We'll get through this. We can do this. We're wardens, kind of a thing. The hoorah kind of option.
I think maybe we took the same thing then, because I said, I need you on this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I need you to have it. I get that this is rough, but I need you.
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, you're absolutely right. I'm with you. So this is why I like her, because, it's okay to have this moment, but you got to get it together afterwards. And she does.
Yeah.
Nothing super notable happens prior to meeting up with this handsome young mage who took out maybe a bunch of Templars.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
unclear.
killed a bunch of Templars.
Yes, we are reunited for the first time with your boyfriend, Anders.
My man. Oh, I took a screenshot of when he's like kind of shrugging, like, oops. And like the vein in his arm is bulging. And I'm just like, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this DLC, voiced by a shithead, but he'll have a new voice in Dragon Age 2 when we get to it.
He'll be fine. Yeah, his voice in this is so
not
unpleasant.
good. Yeah, also, like, I don't know about
like
you,
it.
but his smarm in this, like, I like him better in 2 because he's not smarmy. He's smarmy in this, and it feels.
In 2, he is more heavily seasoned with trauma.
Right, correct. But also, like, in this, like, this smarm is reminiscent of the Joss Whedonifying of everything. Like, snarky, comments on everything, quick with a joke. And it's just, like, I'm so tired of that archetype. And, like, I get that it wasn't as overdone back then, but it is so overdone now in media.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, I love my sassy mage boy.
Yeah, I know.
Because I understand that this is a shield.
Yeah, no, of course.
I understand that this is a shield, and you're like, I'm gonna flirt with you so you don't know that I'm actually really damaged inside.
But
allow me to distract you with how handsome I am.
Yeah. But I mean, I do like Anders as a character. I think it's interesting here that you meet this character that is nonplussed by everything in the sense that he is just like, I'm going to do what I got to do. And, you know, that's just kind of what I have to do. Like, he is very self-sufficient and, like, not concerned with what others think and more concerned about living.
Yeah. So we have a couple of options here. How do you interact with him?
I feel like I was I was cautiously optimistic with him. Like, I wasn't immediately like, come on, yeah, let's party, you know, but I didn't dismiss him either. Like, I think I was kind of just in the like, what did you do? What happened here?
When I encounter him, he's like, oh, I recognize you from the circle.
Yeah, of course.
I was just like, oh boy. And he's like, look, they were dead when I got here. And he explains that he's an apostate and, you know, he escaped the circle. He's like, don't believe everything that they've said about me. I'm not a blood mage, whatever. And I'm just like, I really don't care what you were. And he's like, pragmatic. I like it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I also hate the circle. So let's be
fair.
bros. Let's be pals. Let's do it. It's great. I love him. And you do get to tell him, like, you know, I can always tell the Templars you died. You know, it's cool. Or you can be like, I would like some help. Yes, thank you. So, did you accept his help?
Yes.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. I think that it's interesting that because you were mage this playthrough, there were a lot of interactions that I've not seen before. And that would never have happened if both of us were just anything else but mages, you know. And so I'm glad that you're getting some of those interactions. But yeah, so Anders joins us, and now it's the three of us to take out some more genlocks, and then we are encountered with a very feisty dwarf who has a love of explosives.
Okay, I know that you don't love Anders' sass.
Yeah.
But the thing that I love about Anders is he says everything to Oghren that I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, he gives Oghren so much shit, and I'm like, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for acknowledging that he's the worst.
I was referring to the other dwarf we encountered before Oghren, but yes, Oghren as well.
Oh, no, you're right. I totally forgot about him. Yes, Did you actually get to talk to him? Because I didn't get to talk to him. He just, like, disappeared.
No, he when you're starting to look like you're getting overwhelmed, he throws a bunch of, like, explosives at the darkspawn, and they go flying, and he cackles, and he runs away.
He has this wonderful moment where he's like, oh, no, don't come over here.
And then they wander towards him and blow up because he set traps.
Kablam!
Yeah, it was very good.
I love him. He's great.
He was great, but I don't think we see him again. If we do...
Not in this section.
No, yeah, we see him later, I think, but not here. But then, yes, as we continue to explore, we run into Oghren, who was part of the force keeping this place protected. And when things started to go to shit, he started knocking heads. When I first encounter Oghren and he's kind of like mild-mannered, I was like, oh, cool, maybe like he's learned and grown, and then the minute he sees what's her name?
Myri.
Myri, he starts like being absolutely lewd at her, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
So gross. And then Anders gives him shit, and he does have a very good response to it, which I like, which is a mage comedian. I thought those died young.
Yeah, this is
Fair.
a very good response.
It was a very good burn. I will give you that, Ogren. I hate you, but I will give you like your credit when you do deliver a good burn.
Yeah.
Poor Myri.
Yeah.
Once we get Ogren on our side, he also says, "Follow the screaming," and there you are.
Yeah, which not wrong, honestly.
It's not wrong. It's
Yeah.
so not wrong. We encounter another recruit that Myri knew named Roland.
Yes.
And she's so serious. Anders and Ogren are both like, should we give him alcohol? Because nothing else is going to work.
Yeah.
And Myri's just like, fuck both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor girl. There's just nothing really remarkable about the fighting. Like, we have been through every single corner of this game. Nothing really remarkable is happening in terms of battle. However, I do want to point out that there are some new stats.
Yeah.
It looks like you can increase the effectiveness of your vitality.
Yep.
And your mana or stamina.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that was in the first game.
It wasn't in the base game, no.
Yeah. So that was a new thing that I noticed. And there's also like better rune crafting,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is very interesting. So the leveling has gotten more interesting, but the overall battle just meh. Once we get Ogren and Anders and we continue our way through the keep, we are up at the top and we find the talking darkspawn holding someone captive, about to behead them. And this talking darkspawn is called the Withered.
Yeah, it seems to have a level of intelligence that the darkspawn have not really shown before.
Right. And something that he says is, "We are wishing no more death than necessary," which is very contrary to the darkspawn we've encountered before. Because as far as we know, darkspawn are just like all death all the time.
Yeah, it seemed like they were just a warring race of monsters, which, look, not super foreign for a fantasy story to cover. Maybe the humans were the monsters all along. But that said, the Wither does seem to want to, like, I don't know that they don't want to fight, but they definitely don't want to fight unnecessarily, which is interesting.
Right. I think for them, like, we're making a point.
Yeah.
And we only need to do so much in order to make that point.
Yeah. This is the start.
That's what it feels like.
Right. This is what it feels like. This is a leader who is trying to instill in us, like, the Darkspawn aren't just this mindless race that you kill like zombies. There is actually something behind the Darkspawn that you don't even know, which is interesting, especially when I'm playing a dwarf character. We have another dwarf in our party who have just been killing Darkspawn since as far back as they can remember and don't really know their history because none of them have spoken to us.
But it doesn't even matter. We can't even have a conversation with this guy and be like,
Nope.
What do you want? It's just fight.
Yep.
It's just fight. That guy had a lot of health.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how kind of powerful the enemies feel here. I will say that the regular battles kind of feel mundane now. I mean, we've talked about the combat to death, but also I'm just bored of being my archer because what I didn't realize is that the archer is a lot of summoning allies, putting on your auto fire, and just standing there till things fall over. And it's less
you can
interactive.
switch to being a stabby boy.
I mean,
Switch it up.
I
Be a
guess
stabby boy.
I could, but like all of my talents are for the range stuff. Like I guess I could just start putting talents in the rogue stuff. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, like this boss fight.
Or play as someone else.
I mean, that's true. I could play as one of the other characters in my party.
Yeah.
I could just play as Ogren and use a two-hander and chop stuff up. That's true.
That's the point. You're supposed to be able to switch things up.
Yeah, I forget this is a party-based game just because Mass Effect is not. You can't play as the other characters, though that would be cool. And so, and because you create a character that's meant to be you, especially in our playthroughs, I forget that I can play the other characters.
So once we get Withers.
Withers.
I'm sorry.
Withers original.
My Baldur's Gate is showing.
Yeah.
once we get the Withered,
Yeah.
the Werther's original, as Matt said.
Yeah. That's his name now. He's the Werther's original. Darkspawn. Episode title.
Once we kill the Werther's original.
Yeah.
We free the man who is held captive. We learned his name is Veril. He's actually the Seneschal, with basically our executive assistant for the holdings. And we head over to a cutscene where Queen Honora shows up. Girl, why are you marching with your soldiers? This is so irresponsible. You are a queen.
Yeah. She's not but she's also not the type to like sit idly by. We know that.
I know, but at least wear armor or something.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like, she's just there in her normal day gown and her pretty little shoes, and I'm just like, girl.
Yeah, a rogue arrow to the chest and you'd be done.
It will not take much for you to get assassinated.
Pretty much, yeah.
So irresponsible. We learned that some wardens are missing, and it's possible that they were abducted by the Darkspawn.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unusual behavior for them.
Yep.
I continue to sass Nora because it's fun for me. And she just maintains this professionalism that I hate. And I'm like, no, let her be bitchy to me because that's the relationship we have.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's how it was, at least in the main game for the two of you.
Like, she and I just snipe at each other, and I want that. And instead, she's just like, I am so professional, and you are the hero of Ferelden, and we need you. And I'm just like, this isn't the Honora that I enjoy sparring with.
Right.
This is not. What did you do with Honora? Who are you?
Right. Where's the real Honora?
So the Templars then try to arrest Anders. What do you do?
I intervene. I stop them from arresting him.
You conscripted him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also conscripted him because, unfortunately, your options are conscript him, say show him mercy, or do nothing.
Yeah.
None of those options are help him escape.
Right, which is what I would want to actually do. But yeah, we don't get that option. No escape.
Like, I would have liked to be like, hey, Anders, do you want to be a Grey Warden? Cool, I conscript him. But he seems excited at the prospect, so cool. But yeah, I conscript him because fuck the Templars. And then it is time for the joining.
Yeah.
Before the joining, I just have to share this really gross thing that Ogren says.
Yes, please.
Ogren's like, I'm ready to like full on gargle and spit as far as the joining's concerned. So I chose to say, you're not allowed to spit. And his response was so gross. That's what I always say. No! Bad!
Bad.
Smack you with the newspaper.
Go to your room, Ogren.
Go to horny jail.
Honestly, it's kind of refreshing. Like, at first, I wanted to champion Ogren because I like Stephen Bloom so much, but now it's just fun for hear him voice a character I hate, since that's so rare.
We love you, Stephen Bloom. We hate Ogren.
Yeah.
Please come answer for your crimes.
It's true, yeah. Because how could you play the worst boy and the best boy in two different games, right?
My lizard son.
Our lizard son. I am the lizard son.
Okay, so joining happens, and as we know, not everybody survives the joining. Ogren, like, it's nothing to him. He burps, and Veril's like, concerning.
Yes.
Anders passes out, but he lives.
Yep.
And Myri, my poor girl, who actually really wanted to be a warden.
Yeah.
She doesn't survive. It breaks my heart. This game did her so dirty. She would have been such a great companion.
Yes, but you are right. When we see her and we go, I don't remember this character.
I don't remember you.
That's never a good sign in any BioWare game, especially Dragon Age.
Like, the second this joining started, I was like, oh no!
And now I know I don't remember you.
It's so upsetting. This game does her so dirty.
Yeah.
I'm sad about Myri.
I am too. I do appreciate, like, even though the Ogren thing is like har har, like it's his character, right? Like he has gone on record saying he's imbibed some stuff that no living being should ever drink. So of course the gag of him being unaffected by the joining makes sense narratively, and Anders being a delicate little floor passing out also makes sense.
Okay, that's not being a delicate little flower. That is being a normal person, because that's what happened to us when we did the joining.
No one knows that. No one here knows that. We took it like a champ.
Like, that's literally exactly what happened to us.
It's true.
Is that we passed out.
It's true. But yeah, Myri does not survive.
Made me so sad.
Yeah. And like, it's just more death in the Grey Wardens, and it's depressing.
These are not fun, happy games.
No, definitely
These
not.
are not sunshine and rainbow games.
No, I mean, Mass
I
Effect
would
wasn't
not call
either.
this a cozy game.
No, definitely not. I mean, Mass Effect wasn't either, but I feel like we had cozy moments. I can't think of nary
There are more
one.
cozy moments.
Yeah. The later games have cozy moments, but this game, not so much.
Yeah. So after that, we do encounter two other people in a cutscene that are going to become important to us. The captain of our guard and Woolsey, who I think is another assistant.
Yes.
And Varel tells us, like, all right, the keep is yours now.
Have fun.
Time to do some property management.
Yeah. It's like, okay, now that you're here, it's not our problem anymore. We'll help you, but it's your problem now. Have fun.
Yeah, this is yours.
Go be a grown-up.
I don't like it.
No, me
I
neither.
didn't realize this was going to be property management, the game.
No, yeah, I'm not excited about it.
And that is as far as we got. Our next episode. Well, before we talk about what our next episode is going to be, here is my question for you.
Okay.
If not Ogren, who would you have rather seen?
Oh, in this? Literally any other character. Like Zevran.
Where's our dog?
Like our dog, Zevran, like Zev is my boyfriend. Like I would love to see Zev. Obviously we knew
Zev
we wouldn't see Alistair unless you make him king, then you do see him, but otherwise he is not there. Honora is there instead.
Yeah, he's at Weishaupt.
Yes. But like literally any other character, Wynn, Shale. Shale would have been awesome.
Shale would have been good.
Shale, like if it needed to be another warrior, Shale, like it doesn't make sense for
Shale would have been hilarious.
What's his name? Sten to be there because he was going home. Like that was his whole plan, was to go home and tell tale. But like if we needed it to be a warrior character, it should have been Shale. I mean, especially since that DLC came out, I'm pretty sure before this DLC. So like, yeah, I think Ogren mechanically is a fine character. He's a good two-hander character, but like also though, keep in mind characters like Ogren were pretty common in video games back then, right? A rude, lewd goof of a character, which, you know, of course when I was younger I was entertained by, but as an adult I'm mostly irritated by.
I would have liked either Liliana or Zevran because we don't have a rogue. Like, you're a rogue.
Right.
For your purposes. But if you're playing as a warrior or as a mage, there's a bunch of chests that you can't access because you're not a rogue, so you can't even attempt, which is so stupid.
Yes.
Makes me so angry.
Yes. I hear that.
So, yeah. I think anyone would have been better than Ogren.
I agree. I don't understand narratively why. Now we are gonna. I don't want to spoil it. But we are gonna get a really cool warrior type character who actually becomes, I think, one of my favorite characters in the game, and makes me a little disappointed how he's interpreted in the second game. We'll get to that. But I think he's a really interesting character, and his story and the way they handle it is really cool. And so honestly, I don't think we needed Ogren because that character also fills the warrior role when we get to him. And so, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I think Ogren was a poor choice. I mean, also it could have been as simple as Stephen Bloom
was available.
Right. Like maybe they were planning the narrative and they were trying to figure out what character they wanted, and they wanted to work with Stephen Bloom again, or Stephen Bloom was doing other things for them. I mean, Stephen Bloom has done so many voices in both these franchises besides the main characters he's played. So it could be any of those things. I would love to speak to someone from the writing team back then to understand why Ogren. And again,
just why Ogren in general.
For sure. But I think, and like, even, you can't even pin Ogren as the comic relief, because that's what Anders is. So like, I don't know. He seems to serve no purpose, but I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe Ogren gets some cool stuff to do later. I really can't remember. So who knows? Yeah.
Okay. So the next episode we're going to do is planning. This is a little tricky because from what I remember, you can't do everything, right? You are very limited by what options you take. So our next episode is going to be a little more exploration of Vigil's Keep, picking up some side quests, doing whatever we can achieve in Vigil's Keep. The side quests we're definitely going to cover next episode are The Prisoner, Oaths of Fealty, Defending the Land, and a Brewing Conspiracy. So if you're playing along with us, continue exploring Vigil's Keep, pick up some side quests, do what you can before you leave.
Yes. If you want a good guide to follow along with us, we are using the IGN guide that was written ages ago by a ton of folks. And so it's just the Dragon Age Origins Awakening IGN guide. You can find it by Googling it. We need a path for this because it's just not as organized as well as other DLCs because it's also so massive. Again, this was originally planned to be sort of a sequel, and then they realized it was too similar to the original, so they wanted to just release it as DLC while starting to work on the actual sequel and all of the shit that game went through, which we'll get to when we get to that game. But if you want Vigil's Keep 1 after the introduction is the part of the guide that we're sort of following, so you can use that. And if you have questions, of course, between episodes and want to know, like, should I do this, should I do that, you can always reach out to us. We'll go over where you can find us in a minute. We're happy. Like, it's never really been an open dialogue because the map has been clearer in the past. But if you have questions as a listener playing along, like if you're just listening because you've played the games before and you want to hear our thoughts, of course, that's fine. But if you are actually playing along with us, which is how we envision this, feel free to ask. The best place to reach us is the Discord. You can at either of us. We often respond at disparate times because of the time difference. But
Yes.
but I know some new folks joined the Discord recently because of the show, and we're grateful to have you. But yeah, if you ever have questions about how we're targeting the playthrough, feel free to ask.
Yes, Matt lives in EST and I live in GMT.
Yes. So.
Yay!
Yay! And yet we keep going. But anyway, so thanks for joining us for this episode, and let's tell you all the spiel that we have to tell you.
Before I get into the spiel, I do want to say one other thing.
Oh, sure.
I just want to say thank you again to listeners and to you, Matt, for being so patient. I have been struggling with chronic illness lately, and it is scary. Basically my body has reached a point where it's like, I have managed on my own for so long and now I can't. So it is a difficult time for me. So there may be more interruptions going forward, and hopefully there won't be. I'm going to do my best to manage, but I just ask that you do your best to be patient with me and with us as a show.
Yeah, we will never disappear forever, but there may be gaps. If we find that we need to switch to monthly, we will. It will make this take a lot longer, but the goal is to, obviously finish out the year and, try and get through this in the next couple of months. But if we have to shift the schedule, we will let you know. The best place, and we're going to give you it again in a few minutes, but the best place to keep updated is Twitter. We post the updates for the show if we're not going to air in a bunch of places, but our Twitter is the one that we use the most. So if you ever want to know, is there going to be an episode? Was there an issue? Is everyone okay? The Twitter is the best place to check, which is Reignite Pod, at Reignite Pod. So yeah, stay tuned. Plan is to be back in 2 weeks from now, but if things change, we will definitely keep you updated.
Yeah. So if you like what you heard here, don't forget to follow us on social media. As Matt said, we are at Reignite Pod on Twitter. We're also on Tumblr and Instagram, facebook.com/reignitepod, or you can send us an email at reignitepod@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at FrankieBWrites and at DJ_Stormageddon. And also we're on Blue Sky as Frankie B. Writes and DJ Stormageddon. No underscore on that one. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcatcher if you can. It really helps us get seen so other people can find us.
We're also members of the Certain Point of View podcast network. You can visit certainpov.com to find more nerdy podcasts, each with a unique point of view. You can also find a permanent invite link to our Discord server on the website to join in the conversation. You can also find the places to rate and review us and that link to the Discord in the show notes down below. Please go check that out. Also, I do want to mention we are on Blue Sky as Reignite Pod as well. I keep forgetting to add that to the outro, but I will. So if you want to find us, you can find us in all those places. Please join the Discord and hang out with us. It's been a lot of fun. We added a Baldur's Gate 3 channel because many of the members of our community are obsessed with it. And it's the first time since creating the Discord that we've needed a specific game-focused one. And I can see that happening in the future with other large RPGs. And of course, it's going to be hopping in like 10 years when the next Mass Effect or Dragon Age comes out. So, you don't want to miss that. But yeah, let's do some personal plugs.
Sure. Hey, before I do that, do you know that we got a review in June?
I do know, but I never read it.
Well, I'm going to read it now.
Okay,
because I was reminded.
Okay.
If you are a fan of BioWare, you know why you're here. This podcast is a real gem, and as an ME fan, you owe it to yourself to have a listen. And that is from Katie Beast.
Thank you, Katie.
5 stars. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, we have a few new people who joined the Discord who said they literally binged everything from season 1 and then joined the Discord. And I was like, damn. Every time that happens, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's impressive. I just wanted to share that because someone said that he wrote a review, but I haven't seen it yet. So.
If it's international, we can't always see
that. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but
I thought that I would be able to see it because I'm here, but
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, no, my phone doesn't realize that I'm in a different region now.
If you download iTunes on your computer, which I think you can still do, then you might be able to see it, but I don't know. I mean, we're supposed to also get emails for the international reviews. We have a whatchamacallit set up that sends us.
Chartable.
Chartable is supposed to tell us, so I don't know.
I'll check Chartable next time.
He claims he wrote it, but who knows?
That's true. Anyway, I continue to be but a humble PhD researcher. If you like what I contribute to the show, you can kick me a few bucks on Venmo at FrankieBrad is hella rad.
I still continue to do too much. All of the things that I do are at djstormageddon.com. Of course, I love to plug the Fun and Games Patreon for a lot of reasons, but more importantly lately is I've been writing articles. I haven't written articles regularly in a long time, but the last few months I've been writing them, and it's absolutely free. We have a free tier on the Patreon where it will just keep you updated on cool video game stuff, things we're up to, the articles. Everything is free except pretty much the monthly episodes and any reviews we do. And we're also working on improving the tiers a little to like give people some more access to stuff. But like if you want to see the articles I'm writing and some of the other stuff that's not the podcast, a lot of that is free and costs you nothing to sign up. So you should go check that out. It's at patreon.com/funandgamespod. Otherwise, again, you can find me in all the social places Frankie mentioned earlier. And if you want to support, again, the stuff that I do financially, you can buy some of my merch or join a paid tier of the Patreon, though not required. We also would like to thank the one and only Case Aiken, who not only designs each and every episode's individual show art, but also has developed a ton of amazing t-shirts that you can find over at certainpov.com or on that website's Teespring. Certain POV has its own Teespring, and a lot of those really cool, mostly Mass Effect related shirts are there.
We'd like to thank Radic Wade and Echoes of Oblivion for our theme music.
And, of course, we'd like to thank the one and only Red Spinks for our not-so-brand-new logo. To see more of his work, you can go to Chaos Does Art on Instagram.
All right, that's it for us. I'm Frankie.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon. Remember, Grey Wardens.
In war, victory.
In peace, vigilance.
In death, sacrifice.
Okay, bye.
Nerf herders.
You sure you want to go with that?
Hey, everyone?
There we go. More inviting.
Have you ever had a movie that you really wanted to love, but something holds you back?
Or one that you did love in spite of a flaw?
Well, I'm Case Aiken.
And I'm Sam Alisea.
And on Another Pass, we sit down with cool guests to look at movies that we find fascinating.
But flawed.
And we try to imagine what could have been done when they were made to give them that little push.
We're not experts. We just believe in criticism.
Constructive criticism.
Sure.
So come take another pass at some movies with us.
And every now and then, we can celebrate movies that did it on their own, too.
You can find us at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Pass it on.
CPOV.
certainpov.com.